Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Jeremy, PeeWee, and Repo. What's up, man?
What's up? Your head zone. Nobody could even look at me. And I thought, you chicken shit, you chicken shit.
That fast.
So I hung up my rocker, and he said, does he owe us any money? And they said, no, matter of fact, we owe him some money. So they paid me what they owed me. And then I said, that dude owes me money, and that dude owes me money, and I fucking want it. And they said, he goes, I'll make sure you get paid. I said, okay. And they did pay me. I waited the year, and then after the year was over, about a year and a half, I went back. I said, hey, can I come back? And he says, one of the guys doesn't like you. He hates you. He don't want you back. And it's got to be 100%, And I said, yeah. Well, why don't you let me and this guy go out in the backyard and, get busy? And he goes, PeeWee, I'm not going to let you kick the shit out of him. He's still a member. And I said, okay. So I blew it up, and I came back like 3 months later, and he's talking to me. He says, come down to the clubhouse tonight. We'll see if we can hash this out. Bro, I get down there, man. It's 10 below zero, Minnesota, right? I get up to the door. I'm knocking on, freezing. And he opens the door, and I'm standing right here in front of the door, and he does one of these. And he slams the door in my face. I just start walking away. Pat runs out, no, come back. I was like, fuck it, man. And then a couple years later, that dude got tossed out of the club. Then Pat goes to me, hey, come on back. I had a really bad feeling about him. You know what I mean? That gut feeling telling you, ooh, this thing will be good. And the Frisco guys were great to me. Really, they were. And they were like, come to Frisco. But I don't know how it is with PopKorn and Jeremy's club, but you got to go back to the charter you start with to go to another one. So like your slab, right? So your slab's clear. Like, hey, Jeremy, you ain't going nowhere. You owe us 10 grand or some shit or whatever, like that. So I had to go back there, but they didn't know I wanted to leave. And I said, yeah, I want to come back. And they said, when you want to start? It was like in October when I was talking to them. I said, how about the first of the year? But I don't want to do it here. I want to go to Frisco. And they like freaked out, man. Well, we got to call them and see. I said, it's already called, man. They call them. Frisco's like, yeah, we want them.
So you prospected out in Frisco.
The second time.
In Minneapolis.
And I couldn't believe when I got there, they made me a hang around again after they know me for almost 9 years, But they made me hang around again, but it was short, like 3-4 months. Then I went to doing the prospects again. You got to do a year. And then they voted me in, and that's where I became a Hell's Angel in San Francisco. So out there, it was a whole different life thing because the problem was with the Mongols, and really not with the Outlaws. As a matter of fact, they were having negotiations going on with the Outlaws as I just came into the club. And I had a problem with one of the guys they had that was a big rat for them, a guy named Shock. And I said, hey, if he comes here for the meetings, I get issues with that dude. I'm going to rock and roll with him. And they said, hey, you can rock and roll with him, but no weapons, no crazy. I'm like, crazy, man. I'm throwing this guy over my head. You know what I mean? I'm breaking his neck if I can. So I owed him a lot, but he never showed. He ended up turning on like 40 guys in his club, sending them off to prison. And so it was crazy. But
so pretty much
then after a while, I realized I couldn't afford to live in fucking Frisco. It was crazy.
And Pat did the same thing, right? Turned on all these. Pat did the same thing, turning on a bunch of members.
Pat did the same thing. He turned over and he got 20 years. And they said, well, hey, if you rat, we'll cut your time, He turned over like 42 guys. Me, I was one of them included. Now, hey, I don't mind, you telling shit about me if you're going to rat on me. At least rat on me for the shit I did. Don't make up shit. He tells them I'm the Midwest distributor of methamphetamine. I wish. I would have been making so much money. This time, now it makes sense why the feds kept sending full-patch Hells Angels that were rats wearing wires on me. PeeWee, I'll sell you a pound of meth for $6,000, man. I'm telling you. I said, I don't even do this. I don't know anybody who buys it. What? I don't give a shit if it's 2,000. Every time I seen this punk from Arizona, he was trying to sell me a pound of meth. It was the feds.
Yeah, the DEA, right? It's Dave Dobbin, right?
No.
No.
It was a guy named, they called Mesa Mike Kramer.
Yeah.
That's a punk's name. But I fucked up. I did fuck up because, and I'm sure every one of you guys would have done the same thing. I was standing there and he says, yeah, this Mexican dude, he fronts it to you and you just pay him when you can. Well, hey, man, I'm thinking to myself, I'll burn the dude. I'm sure I could find somebody to sell it, sell it for me for like $3,000. And they can make the rest of the money. I don't give a shit. So I fucked up and I said to him, okay, go get it. This punk jumped on his bike and took off because I was driving tractor trailers through Arizona at the time. I stopped. Now, here's how the feds work. They called him and said, PeeWee's going through town. Call him. Because he never calls me, bro. He calls me, hey, what are you doing? Where you at? I said, it's funny you call. I'm going right through your town. He goes, let's get lunch. So that's how the whole book works. I fucked up. I told him, yeah, go get it. He comes back and he says, he doesn't have it ready. He'll have it ready in 45 minutes. And I said, fuck it, I didn't want it anyway. I jumped in my truck and I left. Now, when I got indicted on the fight with the Mongols, the feds came in and they said, hey, we think we're going to charge you a conspiracy to purchase methamphetamine. And I said,
Yeah,
and I go, prove it.
Right.
And they played that recording. That punk was wearing a wire. So if anybody should be pissed off, I had 4 of those fuckers in the club trying to set me up.
Or more than that.
Yeah, but it's all behind me, you know what I mean? But yeah, look at the biggest guys like Pat, he had it all going. And you know what? They only knocked 10 years off his sentence for all the guys he ratted on. I mean, come on. What the fuck if you're going to be a big rat with a big chunk of cheese in front of your face, at least you can, get 100 guys or more. He threw out 42 guys to him for 20 years because he didn't think he could take it. And I'm thinking, man, I did 3 years for a fist fight.
And he's still living in the same fucking place.
Right. And he goes on that Secret of the Angels things and tells some bullshit story again about me with the bombing thing.
Yeah.
That set me off, bro. Because the guy who did it,
he said that you bombed
the guy who did it,
the clubhouse, right? He said you bombed the clubhouse.
No, a tattoo parlor.
Yeah. The tattoo
I wasn't even there, Billy. I wasn't even there. It was a guy named, and I'm saying John Dirks. He's dead. He OD'd. Why Pat wouldn't even say it? Hey, this guy John did it. No, man, he still has it out for me, and he says, "Who better to send but the trust? To see his loyalty, Prospect PeeWee." I'm like, what? And I was watching the show. I was like, you mother. So yeah, I can see why those guys would be pissed off, the Outlaws. But I'm telling you guys, I didn't do it.
He's probably one of the figures that they'll kill you or something. The Outlaws will kill you. He's putting that info out there.
Hey, the only thing Pat said that was true, I sold my house to an El Prostero. He did his time. He did 30 years in prison for this, for selling meth. I sold to him under the table cash. And like a dumb fucker, because you think you're trusting all your brothers, Pat says, hey, man, I went to his going away party when he's going to prison. I think he was already rolling. He already had a bite of that cheese. I said to him, man, bro, 20 years, that's a long time. And he says, well, you know what, PeeWee? You do the crime, you got to do the time. I said, wait a minute, didn't Tony Beretta say that? I thought it was a Beretta saying. And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, you're a true man, bro. You take that 20 years. Not knowing that I was making a deal. And he says to me, what are you going to do at your house in Minnesota? I said, I already sold it. To who? I said, the guy's name. And he goes, oh. I said, yeah, he paid me a cash deal. We're done, man, because of the way he works, he doesn't have a job. And he goes, that's cool. When I got my indictment papers, it was in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I kept waiting for the IRS to knock on my door. But, yeah, bro, it's heartbreaking, man. And I'm sure all these guys have their horror stories of what you say, hey man, these are all my brothers. I love my brother. I trust them all, but you can't trust them all, and it's hard to trust again once you get by one guy, right, Jeremy? And PopKorn knows too. Once you get, you're a little gun shy, but you got to suck it up and go. We got to do this again, hoping this guy is more solid than the last punk that wore a wire on you. And now you find out this guy's the same way.
Look at PopKorn's situation. Dude crashes this bike and lies right through him.
I know. I told her
in the beginning. That was like my very first day as a member. You know what I mean?
And he straight up lied to PopKorn. Told him, I don't know. Come on, you're only motherfucker riding it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the guys get off thinking that they don't. Just have enough balls to tell the truth, man. I mean, whatever happens,
hey, bro,
fucking point. It's how you deal with it. You know what I mean?
I say the truth sets you free, man. I tell people, you want to be in this club a long time? Yeah. Don't ever lie or steal or cheat. You know what I mean? Just be honest, man. Just be honest. And there was guys, PopKorn, that I would tell. I already knew what they did. And Jeremy knows a guy, Trey. He was spun out. Now, I thought it was meth, but he was on Adderall. And he was running our T-shirts, bro. He broke up with his chick, which was his accountant. She brought over the paperwork and showed me he ripped the club off for $40,000. I was wondering why the we didn't make any money off the T-shirts.
Dude, hey, I had the guy come to me and he says, hey, I don't know how to tell you this because I'm so embarrassed, man. I had to take a job out working nights at McDonald's, and I just don't want none of the guys to find out because I'm working fast food. So I feel bad for the dude or whatever, but he moves into a nicer house. He buys a brand new bike. He gets a fucking nice car for his old lady. And what McDonald's, by the way, you know what I'm saying?
Going tomorrow, apply.
It came out in the wash that he had his hands in the money pot. You know what I'm saying? And doing what he was doing to the nation out of dollars and put them in his own pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That goes down the road as soon as it's exposed. But, if I was going to be the tough guy, I would not pick a 1% motorcycle club to start finger. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
No, come on.
And you said it.
Right.
And you said it yourself, PopKorn, in that interview I saw. You said they put you like as a treasurer and you didn't need their money. And because you know why though? You're solid, bro. Me, I'm not saying I would have stole the money. I just didn't want to handle it. So that's why I never ever wanted that job,
Yeah. I mean, if there was a ton of money rolling around, but I mean, maybe larger chapters or something are doing more dollars or whatever. But I mean, dude, by the time you throw a party, sell a bunch of T-shirts, you done drank all the profit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've never seen a party make money. Breaking even was celebration.
Right, bro. And paying dues. Everybody's like, hey, what do you pay for dues? In Vegas, we were paying $50 a week. That's $200 a month, bro.
For
everybody's like,
there.
And how many members were there? $50 a week. How many members?
12.
12
members.
The more the chapter is going to need to lean on.
Don't forget the idiot. Don't forget the prospect dues. Hang around.
Yeah.
That's
and then all the idiot assessments.
12. That's $600 a week. That's $600 a week.
Yeah, this week 300, next week 500, the week following.
That's 19. That's $20,000 a year.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's tipping the waitresses, man. I mean, don't start getting your head too deep into the money. As soon as I came around the lifestyle, all the titties and beer and fun was cool, but that little brain in the back of my head was going, the Wizard of Oz is rich. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no way in hell. And know what? That gets you back to.
Oh yeah.
So hey, check this out. you know how society is ran off of hate, right? Black,
Right.
white, poor, rich. You know, they train you to hate the other guy, right? Well, that's just a control tactic. You know, as long as they got your groups whittled down, you're easier to handle. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same thing with the motorcycle clubs. I wouldn't be surprised if there was 10 Wizard of Oz's, one from each faction, sitting back on a giant stack of cash and saying, "Did you get your guys to hate my guys this week? Cool, job well done." Because as
Yeah.
long as everybody's fighting, nobody's getting along. You ask a 1% biker what his purpose is for doing what he's doing, and the only commonality is going to be the enemy. That's it. That's the only commonality. Some dudes are in it to ride a bike. Some dudes are in it for this. Some dudes are in it for that. But everyone will tell you the op.
Right.
That sounds like a force-fed message.
Yeah, PopKorn's right, man. PopKorn's right, 100%.
I'm
gain
just as
those
guilty
people,
of it,
right?
You know, I was out front of the Harley shop one day, and I had patchitis. I was a new member, you know, and there was a guy who was in a different club, you know, a pretty respected high faction. He put the olive branch out there. I go to get on my bike. First of all, I thought I was tough just because I was walking over to him to get on my bike while he was standing right there. You know what I mean? Watch this, guys. I'm going to go get on my bike. I don't give a fuck if he is standing right there type shit, you know? And then the dude, he must have had some years on him in the club because he goes, "Hey, sure is a nice day today." And I come back at him with the dickhead answer, "Yeah, it's a great day if you're a pagan."